I think, Coach Brown said it best. I think defensively you're usually ahead of the offense at this time of preseason camp because, on offense, one guy screws up and it can mess the whole play up, So we're trying, defense, one or two guys does a really good job, you can win the rep. So I think, I thought we played fast, I thought we communicated well. I think the learning curve has kind of, gotten a little bit less right now with our defense. I think we're playing pretty hard.
12 practices in, are you comfortable with where the defense is with the understanding the disguising and the nuances and the control, they call it controlled chaos that you guys are doing?
I think we're improving. I don't think you're ever comfortable, right? So I think we're improving. I think they understand why more. I think they're able to do it on their own more. And I think when they take ownership of it, then it becomes really good.
Jay, we've heard a lot of good things about Aaron Crawford and Jason Strobridge. What about the depth behind those guys up front?
Yeah, so Jason, we didn't have him in the spring at all. So the first thing I'd say is I think he's a really, really important football player to our football program. He's a super talented kid who plays really hard. He's a hard guy to handle one-on-one in protection. So I think we're really fortunate that he's here. I think behind those, I think is where I've really been the happiest. Jalil Taylor's done a great job. He's 318 pounds, moving really well. I feel so confident in him and going in and playing for Aaron. And then Zach Gill's improved a ton. Zach Gill in the spring took a lot of reps. I think it paid off. And then I think Tamari Fox and Christian Varner are two freshmen that we're really high on. Tamari Fox, his brother Tamon plays, and is one of our better players. Tamari is a kid who came in, physically ready, which was huge for us. And then I think really the biggest surprise has been Ray Boashek, who's the junior college kid who's 290 pounds and is physical and has given us a presence. I think what was our biggest concern, a month ago, has become something I'm not as concerned about, which is good.
In general, has there been any depth concerns at other positions? I know you have at the top, you have a lot of seniors, but then behind them.
Yeah, I think the key right now is I think if our top 12 to 15 players are playing, I feel really good. I think it's generating the next 15 to 22, and so I think it's some of the freshman DBs, some of the sophomore redshirt freshman DBs, and then I think it's an inside linebacker, trying to get Jonathan Smith back up to speed, who I think has done a great job so far, and then I think getting Chaz Surratt, used to being a linebacker, but Tommy's done a great job with those guys.
What are you hoping to see Saturday's scrimmage?
I think just more communication. It'll be a little bit more South Carolina oriented, so I think some of those kind of things, but. At this point, kind of the install's in. We walked through about 60 plays this morning, and I said, guys, this is more than a game plan ever would be as far as all the calls we have. And if you guys can handle this, then you can handle any game plan we're going to have. So I think just the continued communication and effort's non-negotiable. So I think that the ability to play fast and play physical, and then also communicate. When you get that, you got a pretty good shot.
Considering the number of plays and concepts you may put in training camp, what is the ratio from that to like a normal game week in terms of percentage?
It just depends. It really just depends. There's certain things that are travel every week that I feel like they're fairly comfortable with right now, and then it's every week. A lot of it's based on third downs and then what we're getting for the passing game.
Max said the other day for Chaz, at this point it's about just getting reps. Is that just to kind of learn how to play the position, to react and not think so much out there?
Yeah, so I think the thing Chaz doesn't have right now is, Jonathan Smith's probably got, from playing linebacker as a high school player at Scotland County to playing here and being as many games as he's played, he's probably got 20,000 banked reps of being a linebacker. Chaz has got about 200. So for us, it's just every rep of every time he sees inside zone, every time he gets a hook curl drop, just trying to bank reps for him. And the good thing is he's a really bright kid, and playing quarterback, he understands a lot more than moving over like a running back who usually knows, like, I get the ball and I run to that gap. So Chaz understands a lot more, which has been helpful. So the physicality piece of it is a concern a little bit. Just he hasn't had to do that yet, in a game where I'm getting cut and all those kind of things. So that's going to be the key. But he is super talented, and I'm excited about it.
Do you see him growing every day into the position, or is there any stagnation?
Absolutely. I feel like Chaz is, like, the difference right now for him versus like the first day we put him in there, like, is gigantic.
What would you like us to call that outside linebacker position? Outside linebacker, or defensive end, or?
We call them outside linebackers. You can call them whatever you want.
And then can you explain that role? Because it seems like the one role that's a little bit confusing in what they exactly do for the defense.
Yeah, they play outside linebacker. So sometimes they drop in coverage, sometimes they rush.
Okay. Are they any hand in the dirt, making it a 5 front, or?
No, that'd be a defensive end.
Okay.
So they play outside linebacker.
Are you opposed to the term hybrid? Because that's kind of what we've been using for a lot of those guys. We're not really sure
I think
what they
everybody
are.
in our defense is a hybrid. So if you play Miles Dorn plays safety. He blitzes. He plays man coverage. He plays zone coverage. He plays the A gap. He plays the B gap. He plays the C gap. So sometimes the nose guard plays B gap. So we don't ask Miles Dorn to play nose guard. So I think you just got the more you can do, the better off you are.
Which outside linebackers you've been impressed with?
Well, I think Tamon Fox is a really good player, and I think I love him as a kid. He's really, he's a really powerful kid, really strong, plays hard every day. I think Alan Cater has really come along. I give that kid a lot of credit. I think he's like 8.5 months from an ACL reconstruction, and he's taken almost every rep we've asked him. I think Jake Lawler's gotten a lot better. I feel way more comfortable about him going in the game than I did in the spring. And then I think, Tyrone Hopper, who broke a finger and has missed a couple of days, but he'll be back. He's back in yellow today. I think Hopper is super talented, so I think just see him injury-free will be exciting.
Is Collins another guy too?
Collins, I thought has been better the last couple of days. Chris he's got to be a little bit better at the point of attack, but he does some things better than all of them. That's our job. That's Scott Boone's job. That's my job, is to get those positions in the spot they do best.
What does he do?
What are some of those things? What are some of those things that Collins does better?
Yeah, he's a better dropper. He's a better zone cover guy. He's probably a better true 9 technique, dropping the flat kind of guy. He's really long. He's got to get stouter at the point of attack. Where Tamon Fox at the point of attack, I don't care who he play, I feel pretty good about. Chris has got to get to that point to be a complete player.
A lot of the guys say that they've had a lot of fun playing this defense and learning how to play this defense, and they really enjoy the disguising aspect of it. Have you seen them grow, having more fun and less frustration as you've gone through camp?
Well, I think we forget sometimes that this is a game. They started playing it because they liked it when they were 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 or whenever. And I think sometimes college coaches, we try to make this into math class. I hated math class. So I think we try to, let's make this fun. And I think if you enjoy something, you'll do better at it.
You seem to be a pretty intense guy, so how do you balance that out of making sure you get things done correctly while also having fun with it?
I think we try to establish what our standard is. Like I said, effort's non-negotiable. Knowledge is non-negotiable. So I'm going to set the standard as high as I can, and if they don't meet that standard, then I'm going to demand they do. And I think what's really cool is we've got guys like Dominique Ross and Miles Dorn and Miles Wolfork and Jason Strobridge that are demanding that of other people. And when the players demand the standard is met, you got a chance to be pretty good.
You mentioned Ross. He talked about this being a fresh start when the new staff came in. Kind of what have been your impressions of him since?
I'll tell you what, he is I really enjoy coaching. I spend more time with the secondary. Tommy spends his time with him mostly. Scott some. I really enjoy him. I think he loves football. I think he is a competitive kid. I think obviously he's really talented, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him play.
What is it, man, having both Miles back out there?
Yeah, they're really smart. Dorn, I think, Dorn didn't play at all in the spring, but I could tell in meetings, and he would stand out there with me a lot, that he, concepts made sense to him. I think those two are elite smart, so I think they will allow us to do a lot.
You mentioned Varner and Tamari Fox. Any other true freshmen you think will be able to contribute this year?
I think Don Chapman and Gio Biggers at safety are both kids that are taking all the 2 reps right now and doing a good job, learning every day.
Storm Doug, Eugene Asante.
I forget about Storm a little bit because he was here in the spring. Storm and Kadri will play, I would think, in spot roles right now, but could play a lot depending on how things shake out. Eugene Asante is really talented, and I think Tommy's doing a great job with him. I feel like every day it's been giant leaps for him as he continues to get better.
He came in a little late.
Yeah, but when they're freshmen and they first get here, they don't really learn much, So, but yeah, I think he's really making some giant steps. I think the one thing, our kids worked their tail off this summer. I told them when I got here, I said we have to take advantage of the summer because everybody else we play that are junior and senior team, like we would hopefully have been, would have had the defense installed 6 or 7 times. We're gonna have to install it twice. If all we do is install it in the spring and then install it in the summer, that's not enough. And so we really attacked the summer, and our kids did a great job. And I felt like when we came back, for fall camp, it was like we had a really veteran team, and I credit our seniors for that.
We heard a lot about Jeremiah Gemmel in the spring, and his name keeps popping up the first couple of weeks of fall camp. What are your impressions of him, and what kind of expectations do you have of him?
I think he can really run. He's really smart. I trust him. He's very reliable. I mean, he's one of the guys I count on. I think he's going to be a really, really good player. And he wears number 44, which all great inside linebackers look for.
What lessons can you take from the service academy that you can give these guys?
So I tell our guys all the time, at West Point, we didn't necessarily have the most talented athletes, but we had really good players. I think being a good player and being a good athlete aren't mutually, inclusive. So I think, the ability to do your job and to play with great pad level and to play fundamentals and play with great effort and communicate, those don't take a ton of ability. And so if you do that and then you add in the factor that they are longer, faster guys, then you should be okay. But, that Army West Point defense, right, those kids were tough. Those jokers competed. And we're trying to get to that spot here right now.
Given your experience at Army playing against that kind of ball control offense in practice, has it been beneficial? I guess you're going to be close to 30 practices in against what Phil wants to do. Has that been beneficial for you just as a coach?
Yeah, I mean, they challenge us every day. I mean, every day it's a new concept that we have to address and handle, and it's a way better preparation for what we see schematically week in and week out. So that part's been great. Phil does a great job. He's really smart. I'm glad he's on our staff. I don't have to defend him.
You had a role bringing Brian Hesson, I imagine, because of his time with you in the Army. What did you like about what he did in the Army that you wanted to bring here?
So he's a great motivator. He's a great energy guy. And I thought at West Point, those kids have a lot on their plate. They don't get to sleep much. Nutrition's not great. There's a lot of stress involved. And he did such a great job managing injuries here. And I think that will be a factor here now. So I think he'll do a tremendous job of the injury prevention piece in the weight room, and then you can already tell that we're more athletic and faster and bigger and stronger.
You noticed the difference between spring and
absolutely. I noticed the difference between spring and when I would come out here and watch him in the summer, and do a workout. So I mean, Brian Hess is a rock star. We're fortunate to have him.
Coach Brown talked the other day about how Coach Bly's been pretty smart, kind of letting you guide him as he's kind of acclimated and stuff. Just how have you seen him just kind of get used to being at this?
Well, I mean, the thing Dre has is he's got great energy. He loves North Carolina. And I mean, he's in the Hall of Fame, so I'm not. So I mean, I think when he says I do it this way, there's some immediate buy-in from the kids. But I've been really impressed with him. A lot of times the knock on a guy with that kind of success who goes into coaching is that he doesn't want to work as hard, or Dre's worked his tail off. I mean, no one's worked harder in recruiting than he is. And on the field, I mean, I just think every day he's getting better, and I think he knows the defense really well right now. Because he had to learn it too, and I feel very confident that I mean, I don't even worry about him anymore, like with the corners. And I think our corners are getting better, so I think we're really lucky to have him.
You got time for one more.
You mentioned corners. You got Preseason behind him. What kind of guys do you expect to?
Well, Trey's working out there some.
Good more so.
Just because I didn't want to get into I didn't want to get into a situation where I think Trey's one of our best players. I didn't want to get into a situation where he wasn't on the field against certain formations and certain personnel groupings. So now we're working him at corner some and at nickel some. So Trey's done a nice job out there. I think Greg Ross has really improved, and I feel good about him out there. And then I think Storm Duck is going to be really good. He's big, fast. He's behind Patrice right now, but I feel really good about him going to the game and playing.
All right.
Thanks, guys.